So Record of Ragnarok, Apocalypse of the Gods, chapter number 13, and it is a damn good chapter. Before that though, make sure you subscribe and drop a like on this video so you stay on this side of the Record of Ragnarok algorithm so you never miss an upload like this and are more likely to be recommended to the channel. Shout out to the members as always, appreciate all the support. Let's get into it. So we're picking up right where we left off, obviously with Suzuku and Indra finally squaring off at the end of last chapter. We then see Suzuku say the words, "From here on out, this is our one-on-one. How about it?" Now we see Ares, Zeus, Yara, Shiva all reacting as they're watching this fight on the big screen because it is taking place out of the arena. But it still is an official match by all standards we know. Ares says, "Wait a minute, is it okay to let them do this?" Hermes says, "Do what?" "Just look, right when we were wondering where he disappeared to, he decides to start the match somewhere else all on his own. And then the other ones. Clearly they were doing some sneak attacks beforehand. I mean, they must have been talking about Suzaku's men." Ares lifts Hermes up off the ground at this point, and Hermes looks extremely sinister here and he says, "And? This is the apocalypse after all. A tournament to decide the strongest god through pure violence." Ares gulps and sets Hermes back down. Hermes continues and says, "Status, reputation, nobility, none of that matters. All that matters is strength. No matter how or why. If you lose, that's it." Throughout that, we see images of Ku, Wukong, Belial, Ahura Mazda, all these monsters. And Hermes says, "Isn't that right, Lord Zeus?" When Zeus hears this, his veins start pulsating. Man's extremely excited. Zeus then says, "As long as you can prove your strength, you're free to do it however you want." That said, that man Suzuku, more than I'd initially thought, he really is my kind of guy. The dialogue there is interesting because they're deciding the strongest god, yet we know a ton of the strongest gods are actually in the main series. So I think it's just the strongest in the tournament, but that might lead to Zeus wanting to join the tournament. Obviously, we know he takes that final spot, so we'll have to see how this all plays out. We then cut back to Suzuku versus Indra. Amazing panel here of them facing off. Suzuku's in a martial arts stance. Indra's ready for war or all over the place. Black Tortoise is like, "Why are you here, Zeus? If you just waited a little longer, it'd have been our win. You'd have been unscathed, scot-free. We won, we did our job. For the sake of winning, any means necessary. Wasn't that our motto? Our very essence?" Azura Dragon thinks to himself, "Indra's strength is far beyond any of our expectations." White Tiger thinks, "For us four gods who only care about wins, taking such an unnecessary risk is not like him at all." So this is out of character for Suzuku. A lot of people thought maybe he's just a righteous guy, but for whatever reason, he has decided to take this fight, which is something he wouldn't normally do according to his men. Suzuku says, "If this were just about winning, then you might have been correct. But in this apocalypse, Indra is not the only one whose strength exceeds our expectations. You see Wukong, Ku, and actually Morrigan as well. Thus, any of the gods who advance will have to grow and evolve by experiencing the trials of fighting the strongest. Therefore, I too shall experience fighting the strongest. And if I can't evolve here, then I can never rise to the top. That is my decision." I actually like this, I'm not gonna lie. I was wondering why he would do this, but he was sitting in the arena. He's probably thinking back to, the previous two fights. He saw the immense power of Wukong and Ku, and he's like, "You know what, man? At my current level, I can't fucking beat those guys. I gotta push past my limits somehow, and the only way to do that is by fighting." Then there's a close-up of Indra's face. Eyes very prominent, lightning all over the place. He looks poised to strike. We see Suzuku sweating now. He says, "Yes, this is it. The purest, strongest opponent." That's a weird statement. Does he think Indra's stronger than the two previous men? Indra pushes forward to Suzuku, goes to attack him. It looks like Suzuku initially tries redirecting, but then has to resort to putting a guard up. And while he blocks, he's thinking to himself, "And the purest, harshest trial I have to face." Now, when he got his guard up, it wasn't enough. The attack pushed right through his guard just like it did to his subordinates the chapter previously. He thinks to himself, "So fast, but if I'm in your range, you're in mine." That implies to me that the attack sneaked beyond the guard, didn't necessarily just overpower it. Now, when he thought that "you're in my range," he was already too late because Indra had already landed a second attack on Suzuku, landed a clean punch straight to his face. The crowd is concerned at this point, and Brahma from the crowd says, "Seems like he's managing well." And Shiva says, "Yeah." Varna says, "Not just managing." And Agni says, "Compared to before, he's far sharper." Vishnu chimes in and says, "He really is lightning fast. That really is Vajra." Awesome panel of Indra. Shiva didn't really say much though. We see that attack sent Suzuku flying back. He's bleeding from his nose. And White Tiger thinks, "Suzuku." Suzuku doesn't fall to his back though. He catches himself and wobbles, but he stays on his feet. Shiva then screams from the crowd, "Now, finish him off, Indra." Amazing shot of Indra with lightning flickering out of his eyes as he rushes down Suzuku to try to finish the job. But he stops dead in his tracks. something tipped him off, probably due to, his lightning ability kind of giving him like some kind of a sixth sense. We see this dark aura envelop the battlefield, and Suzuku is in this stance. He's like, what's wrong? Are you done already? Indra doesn't say anything, and Suzuku starts strolling forward. He says, in that case, do you mind if I make my move? This is a sick ass panel, bro. As he continues walking, his stance exudes even more confidence. He starts staring a hole through Indra, and Yara says, this is slightly irregular, but the third match of the first round is official. In the first exchange, the one who completely dominated was the Thunder God Indra. Nevertheless, the one leisurely closing in on him, no different than if he were out for a casual stroll, is Lord Suzuku, one of the 4 assassination gods. Suzaku's eyes look crazy here, and he says, now then, hit me again. I dare you. Indra collects himself. He says, fine by me. This asshole, he's up to something, but that doesn't change what I have to do. He rushes forward, blitzes in behind Suzuku, gets completely behind him, and he tries to strike him from the back. We see that he throws a punch, but his eye goes wide. Blood splatters all over the place, and we see this image of Indra. His hand is completely mangled. Crowd is shocked. They're saying, what just happened? And then somebody from the crowd notices, look at that. Suzuku has wings. No, that's not it. It's something else entirely. And we get this insane shot of Suzuku's new ability, which basically looks like wings of like knives, bro. Like feathers of knives, kunai, just sprouting from his back, and that's exactly what Indra punched into. White Tiger says it's only round 1 and you're showing that off already? And Zeus chuckles to himself and says, now that's a surprise. Who'd have thought that Green Horde would turn out to be the one who has that? Hermes says, that sacred treasure of the Chinese pantheon, to see it in the flesh, what a treat. A countless number of blades, freely rearranging themselves according to the will of the user. Its name is Crimson Ripple Chirping Phantom Sword. So confirmed, this is a weapon. It's not an innate ability. This is a divine weapon, and Zeus knows of it, which prompts the question, like, who previously wielded this? Suzuku rearranges the weapon to where it looks as if it completely envelops his arms now. Somebody from the comments said it looks like Alex Mercer from Prototype. It looks sick. It looks like he has claws, and it does fit the aesthetic of him being the vermilion bird. Indra is now sweating. He recollects his hand, draws a fist, bloody fist, looks awesome, as Suzuku just continues to walk him down with this dark aura taking over the battlefield. And Yar says it's a total reversal. The Thunder God Indra's barrage of lightning fast strikes has been repelled by the sudden appearance of Suzuku of the 4 assassination gods' armor of countless blades. And now it's Indra who's sporting serious wounds. The crowd saying Indra's right arm, doubt he can use that anymore. But they don't know the resolve of the Thunder God. Suzuku looks very pleased with himself. He says, this match, that should settle it, huh? That is, it would if you were a normal opponent. He thinks to himself, even though he's lost an arm, his fighting spirit isn't wavering in the slightest. Indra doesn't say a word. He just enters his fighting stance once more. He finally speaks and breaks his silence and says, come at me. My Vajra hasn't lost yet. The other assassination gods think to themselves, a counter? And Suzuku says aloud, I see. That's now your only option. But against my Chirping Phantom Sword, such a counter does not exist, and he throws out a ton of these spikes from his weapon. They close in on Indra. It looks very similar to the Gaybolg technique from Ku. And Yara says this time it's Shuriken. We don't see the effects of what happened just yet, but it seems Indra outpaces them and springs forward, leaving a ton of lightning in his wake. And then Suzuku lunges forward. This is one of the coolest panels of the entire chapter, as they both meet in the middle for this epic clash. But right before they can connect and blows can land, Indra's eye goes wide. He notices that the kunai actually stuck into his back. It looks like they wrapped around him and hit him like a boomerang, and it opened up a moment of opportunity for Suzuku, because that obviously slows Indra down when he realizes that he was hit in the back. And Suzuku says, that technique of yours, it has a glaring weakness. So we see that Indra still tried to attack you with his left hand, but Suzuku, with the kunai attack surprising Indra, was able to land his attack, and he leaves this massive slash straight down Indra's chest. The narration says, is it hopeless against this shape-shifting weapon? And Suzuku says in the final panel of the chapter, even one-on-one, it's my victory. This man has crazy aura, bro. Crazy aura. I love this weapon. I really like Suzuku as a character, and Indra is in a world of trouble, man. Some of the leakers are implying that next chapter might be the end of the fight. I'm not sure if that is true or not, but Indra's gonna have to surpass his own limits if he wants to beat this man, because he's getting his shit rocked right now. But this was a phenomenal chapter. Let me know your guys' thoughts on who you think is gonna win this fight. Do you think Indra does have a counter? Do you think Suzaku's too overconfident? And who do you like more? Who do you want to win? Let me know all that in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.